Ladies and gentlemen, there were protests actually in the country, and in the last more than 1 month, we've been having those protests, particularly led by the Gen Zs and the millennials in the country. Some of the things that have been driving these people to the streets is the behavior of the members of parliament in the country. Some of these members of parliament appear to be very wealthy within a very short time. Another thing you can say about these members of parliament, most of them, actually, they have been bragging and speaking arrogantly to the people who elected them. They have not been seeming to be supporting the people elected them. Instead, their friends and other people in the world. These people have been going to fundraisings across the country, moving various churches, they're building churches, such like things, taking huge amounts of money, which belongs to the people of Kenya, and everyone knows this. Now, this is some of the things that angered Kenyans, Gen Zs particularly, to go to the streets and ensure that they're protested. Now, while most of the MPs were speaking arrogant to the Kenyans, particularly in regard to the Finance Bill 2024, there are some MPs that behaved extremely wrong and bad way, and there are those that behaved well as far as speaking and dealing with the common mwananchi is concerned. On this video here today, I want to point out one gentleman who spoke very well and actually who tried to act wisely when handling the issue of Finance Bill 2024, and that is Mheshimiwa Honorable Ndondi Nyoro, the MP of, I think, from Rang, I can't remember the exact constituency itself. Now, before I dissect on that video why I'm pointing out this gentleman to be one of the most behaving and best behaving MPs in the country, can if this is the first time you're watching this video, make sure that you subscribe, like and comment, because that's the best support you can always give this journey. Why am I pointing out to Ndondi Nyoro? First of all, this gentleman, we had very many MPs talking about this guy's performance in his region, in his area of jurisdiction, actually, where he is a member of parliament. He has performed marvelously that most of these parliamentarians go there for what you call benchmarking. And that is really commendable. That is what we encourage every young MP in this country to follow. Now, Ndondi Nyoro, when the Finance Bill 2024 came out, actually, I'm very sure he was centrally in the drafting of this bill, because he sits in a serious committee in parliament, that is of the budget making committee. Now, in this budget making committee where he sits, this gentleman, of course, understands what is there, particularly in the Finance Bill 2024. Despite he didn't come out clearly to oppose it, or propose it, or some way support it, or he didn't come out to say precisely what is inside there, because of the mood that was in the country, he tried to act like he understands the issues that Kenyans across the country were raising. He tried to speak to ensure that at least he has not gone against what the people of Kenya were wishing. He tried to understand the Gen Zs and millennials across the country. This gentleman actually, even he kept quiet at some level. He did not utter most of the careless words that most of the MPs in the country do utter. So therefore, I want to commend him strongly, because we saw extreme cases like an MP from Northeastern, that is Farah Maalim, saying that if he could be the president, he could have killed 5,000 of the Gen Zs who went to parliament, which was a very wrong thing to utter as a member of parliament elected by youth from that region. We saw an MP trying to castigate what the Gen Zs and millennials were doing. One of them actually saying that these people don't know what they are saying. It's that they just want to go and make content in the streets of Kenya. Until they realized this thing was serious, that is when Kimani Ichung'wah decided to tone down and say, okay, let me keep quiet and do my own things. And actually they realized whenever they speak, the younger these people would come out in large numbers and get to the streets. They even tried to antagonize the group by trying to antagonize them between the people in the towns and those in the villages. Upon realizing it is across the country, then now they kept quiet and went low. Some of them say that these are kids of dynasties who are trying to come to the streets to sabotage the government's progress. Actually, it was very wrong. Another person was just speaking arrogantly and said, if you feel that your car you cannot pay the car levy, then leave your car at home and walk to work. I don't know, maybe use a bicycle. I mean, that is not the kind of ways we need our MPs to behave to most of the people who elected them, to people actually who elected them. So therefore, when I commend Ndondi Nyoro's behavior, it is out of the experience that we had from some of the bad MPs that we had in the country, who voted yes arrogantly, did not listen to the people of Kenya, and went ahead to ensure that at least they have hurt Kenyans more from what they used to say. Because they reached a point and felt that they are not touchable. Okay? They reached a point they felt like, even if we do this and that, there's nothing Kenyans can do. Until when they realized that Kenyans can really come for you, that's when they started toning down. Actually, most of them right now are not allowed to speak in most of the churches because of the way they used to behave. Therefore, Ndondi Nyoro's, I commend him, because actually when I saw that kind of maturity, such kind of wisdom whenever he speaks, it is good and commendable to have such kind of leaders in power. Because you see, Ndondi Nyoro, it did not really come out strongly to oppose it, or even say it is a good bill. But I'm just saying that Ndondi Nyoro, he tried to behave and act according to the feelings of Kenyans. That is what we encourage. I am from Kisii personally, and I did not personally He does not represent me when it comes to my constituents. I have a constituency. My MP, it is Cliff Gisairo. This Cliff Gisairo, he voted no. So definitely me, I was comfortable because I knew he could vote no as well. But now, this gentleman from the other region is from the government. My MP is from the opposite from ODM actually. So being from government, he was expected to speak arrogantly. That is Nyoro. But he acted calmly, just like any other opposition MP. Not just in opposition, he acted like someone who understands what Kenyans are experiencing. That is what we encourage from most of the leaders, particularly the young parliamentarians. As we speak right now, we have parliamentarians who are young, who speak carelessly, the likes of Osoro, the likes of Zairi Janda, the likes of the likes of Peter Salasia, people who really don't take time to reason. I think they need to listen to this gentleman whenever he speaks, follow what he says, and at least try and emulate some of his character. Because despite also he cannot be free of corruption, because we know this guy is also rich. Donating 1 million is not something that we need to expect from an MP. That is using a chopper here and there. It is not something we expect from an MP. That is, when if you are the first, second, or third term MP, there are some things that we don't expect from him. Therefore, to be honest at this level, I want to say that despite of his weaknesses, he acted wisely by listening to the people of Kenya. That is my video there and there. And if this is the first time you're watching our videos, make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that's the best support you can always give this channel.